Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek, and I'm looking at See No Buzz, which is a small 20-card game by Masanofu, published by Yukon Roman, aka Board Game Circle, with Minimal Games distributing the game. See, it's a very tiny game. It's got rules, about half the thickness of the cards in the game. 5 of the cards are point trackers, which leaves you 15 cards for the actual game. So this is a trick-taking game of sorts, but it's a little confusing to call a trick-taking game because it doesn't quite work that way. So the game has 3 suits of cards, and in each suit you have the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, and -3. You are going to shuffle the deck, okay, and distribute 3 cards to each player. And then the rest of the cards, if we have a 3-player game, are removed from play. Don't even know what those are. Each player is going to look at their cards in hand. And if you're the start player, you're going to choose one of these cards, and you can play it either in front of yourself or you can play it in front of someone else. And you say which suit you play, and other players must follow that suit if possible. So I could take this card, put it in front of someone else, and say blue. Okay. Each other player is going to look at their hand. If they have no blue, well, they play what they want. They can choose to play it in front of them or in front of someone who doesn't have a card. Each time that you have a card placed in front of you, unless you're the start player putting the card in front of yourself, you have to decide whether you want to use this card to fight or to flee. If you fight, you turn it face up, you're in a ready position. Flee, you're lying down taking a nap. I'm not really sure. So each player will end up with a card in front. Oh, this card. Oh, this player also has no blue. Plays this card. I will choose to fight. If people flee, they just step aside. If you fight, you turn over the cards, and normally, whoever has the high number wins. Okay? 4 beats 2. 4 would win, regardless of the suit. If there's a tie, then you go clockwise from the starting player, and the player farthest away is considered to be winning at that point. Okay, 4 beats 2. What does this marker on the bottom mean? Well, 4s and 2s have special powers where if you play an off color, an off suit, 4 or 2, it flips the trick and now the low card wins. But I've got 2 of them, so they flip it twice and the high card wins. Boom! So this one wins. I lose. I take a point of damage. When a single player loses, that player can choose to confront someone who fled during that round because my feelings are hurt and I want to pick on someone. So I can choose to charge somebody if I want to. This guy over here. Hey, didn't I give that guy a card? I know what he has. I know whether I can beat him or not. So I could choose, I'm going to charge you. This player then has the option of either dodging, in which case he takes 1 point of damage because he has 1 card in front of him, or he can fight. And when we have a fight there, the loser gets a point of damage, the winner heals a point of damage. Okay, let's say he doesn't. He just takes a point. Cards that are played or set aside, whoever won leads to the next trick. All right, I'll go over here. This guy's gonna fight. This one? Oh, what suit was that? Red. I'll go over here. I'll fight. Oh, I got a red. I have to play it in front of me. It's not a high number. It's got the special power to flip, but it's on suit, so I'm gonna flee. All right, you turn over the fight. Doom, doom, doom. Wow, 4 to -6. This guy takes a beating. All right. If someone ever flips over cards during a fight and those cards sum to 3, then everyone who fled must fight in the round. Okay. The game well, let's stop one moment. These cards get discarded. We have a final round. If you have a final round, no one has any more cards in hand. You only have 3 rounds of play because you only have 3 cards in hand. If someone has cards in front of them because they fled, they take that card and they put it in their hand. You then shuffle all the discards, and deal cards out to everyone. So now you have 3 cards in hand again, and you start a new round with the person who won. You play until someone gets 5 points of damage. That player loses the game, and whoever has the fewest points of damage wins. Okay. Now, look at the cards here. In a 3-player game, 6 cards are going to be out of play. After the first round, you see what's in play, and you can use that knowledge in the future turns. I got this face down card here. Well, this player played this card in front of me. He knows what it is, and I'll pick it up and add it to my hand, and I know what it is. This guy still doesn't. But we're going to get some subset of this. We see there's 4 things that change from high to low. There's 2 negatives. Oh, there's 5. And now you're going to play in that knowledge as we continue in the next rounds. So the game is very weird. I played twice on a press copy, once with 3 players, once with 4. With 4 players, you're going to have 12 cards in the game. Only 3 are out. So you have less chance of actually knowing what everyone's going to have, or at least deducing what someone's going to have. And, you know, it's a little harder because more cards are available, and yet at the same time, in our games, we still have instances where people are bluffing on what they're putting in front of other people and getting them to flee or fight as you want and lose with a losing hand, or with you knowing that you put down something that is going to flip the combat and probably get them hit. There's you know, it's a minimal game because there's so few cards available, and yet there's some trickiness there. It's kind of weird because the first round is somewhat random in that you don't know what cards are available, and you just kind of wing it in terms of what's there. With a 5-player game, which I haven't played, every card is in play. So, of course, that's a little more open there. There's no bluffing in terms of what's in or out, and what people have or don't have. You know it's all out there. So each round you start again. You play some cards, you have a fight, those cards are out of play, okay, those have been played, now someone plays something else. And you're trying to deduce all these little levels with just a handful of cards. And it's pretty interesting, and it was very strange. It was very hard to wrap your mind around how this actually works with so few cards in the deck, while deducing what other people have and trying to get people to hopefully do what you want them to do. All right? You don't necessarily need to score. You don't necessarily need to win. If you win, you get to lead to the next trick. But if you don't win and you make someone else lose, that can still benefit you as long as you don't have any damage. All right? I won one of the games by placing a card in front of someone else that I hoped he would be able to fight one of the other 2 people, which did end up happening, and one person with 4 points got 5th, and I won on damage there. And it's all this, you know, very small trickery in terms of what's going on here. So there's a short rundown on See No Buzz, the non-trick-taking, trick-taking game where you can flee or fight, flip, get magic 3s, slice people, and lose. Or win. One of those.